Okay, so because I am making a lot of juices, we are making a lot of other things to go with it. We call them accompaniments. In chichos. Now, today we are making this Ghana chips, and this is none like you've seen before. You haven't seen this recipe before, I know, because it is amazing. It is full of flavor. The flavor is so deep. You understand when we get there. It is amazing. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel, and let's do this together. Ingredients, okay, very simple ingredients, but it's going to give us an amazing taste. You love this, trust me. So this is your margarine. It is margarine, not butter. Margarine, okay. So we'll set that one aside, and then I have my flour. I'm going to be using 1,005 grams. 1,005 grams, 1.5 kg, 1,500 grams. So I'm right, okay. I'll set that one to aside. Okay, and then I'm going to be concentrating on this because this is what is going to give us the great flavor. Okay, so I have some all-purpose seasoning. Okay, right. So this is just 3 teaspoons corresponding to the quantity of flour I'm using. So every teaspoon is to 500 grams of flour. So 3. The same for the salt. 3 teaspoons of salt, right? And then I have some herbs. These are optional, but then if you have it added, you're going to go on another level. So what I want to concentrate on is all these, apart from the salt, the seasoning and the herbs are optional. The salt is a must because it is a savory, snack, chips. Okay, so salt is a must, right? But what gives it a great flavor without all this? Okay, this will give it amazing, like to the next level. These two to the next level, but without it, very great flavor with onions and garlic, right? So for each 500 grams, I'm using about this much onion, okay? So this is the size. It's like a medium to small size onion, right? And then I will use 2 cloves of garlic. So these are the sizes, the garlic, right? But then my garlic, some of the garlic, look at for this one, for instance, is very big, okay? Because it's very big, I take one big one and I take one sort of small one. Okay, so if your garlic is like that, if your garlic are all small, then you can take 3 like that. Okay, so right, I took an extra one for it. As you can see, it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 1 for each 500 grams, but I have an extra one. That is because I'm going to be frying half of the onions. Okay, when you fry onions, what happens is the flavor, the strong flavor reduces. Okay, it's going to give it a nice sweet caramelized taste, but then the strong original flavor reduces. So I'm adding another one to boost the flavor up. I hope you get me. So yeah, that's explained. Let's move on. I'll peel this and then we'll blend it, and then we'll put everything together. Okay. Here are the onions and garlic. I've peeled them nicely and they are so nicely washed as well, and the butter. What I'm doing here is going to fry the onions in the melted butter. I didn't melt all the butter. I used about half of the butter to fry the ingredients. The rest of it, we'll add it at the end. We'll add it to the melted butter and it will melt it. And I was going to melt the butter anyway. So if you're not going to be frying your onions and your garlic as I'm doing right here, then just melt your butter. So I fried it until it's nice and golden, caramelized as you see it here. We're going to be blending the onions. And before we blend, you make sure you strain your oil to remove all the impurities, and then add the rest of your margarine. Okay, it's going to melt it. Once you finish blending and everything, you realize that it has melted nicely for you. You add your raw onions. I explained this to you before we even got here. Okay, we add the raw onions and we're going to blend. You add in your all-purpose seasoning. I've added in my herbs and some water to turn the blade. And you don't need to blend the herbs if you're adding. You can just add it to your flour as it is, but I wanted to blend it. Right? So give it a good blend, and yeah, we are ready to make the dough. So let's explain something here, right? I'm adding my salt. I'm going to mix it, and I will add in my wet ingredients and some water to bring the dough together. But there's something I need to explain to you here about
your salt content in these chips, okay? So if your margarine is salty, you have to reduce your salt by a teaspoon, and you reduce your all-purpose seasoning by a teaspoon. So instead of 3 teaspoons, you use 2 teaspoons. I hope I have made myself clear. That is if your margarine is salty. If your margarine isn't salty, then you maintain the original recipe or original ingredients for your chips. So here I'm just bringing everything together. You mix it, you keep adding water. I cannot tell you that you put a cup of water or 2 cups of water. No, I can't, because every flour reacts differently to liquid. Okay, so what you need to do is, once you mix in all your aromatics, your margarine, onion, garlic, and all those inconveniences, you add water, and you keep adding water until you bring your dough together. Okay, if I say 5 cups and it becomes important, what are you going to do? Okay, so let's, you just add it little by little, or as you see me do here, I add it little by little. And once I know that all the flour has got some water to work with, then I'll bring it together. I'm going to give it a knead, okay? We're making chips. We're making the rib style Ghana chips. Because of the way it is, we're going to be rolling it to be very, very, very thin. And as a result, we need this to be nice and soft. So kneading is required here, because we want it crispy, and I am crispy, crunchy, and I am crunchy, and crispy, crunchy. Yeah, penny grow. Yeah, that's what we are looking for, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use my pasta machine, okay, because that can give me a consistent thickness, okay? But if you don't have a pasta machine, all that you need to do is to use your hand to roll it out until it is nice and thin. I'll show you the thickness when I roll. But what I did was I roll it and I cut it into big chunks, and then, just pass it through my pasta maker. I passed it through the big setting. Okay, you open it up, you pass it through, it becomes flat. Then you reduce it. I don't know if all pasta machines have the same settings, but I will tell you, I will write the settings in the description box for you, as well as the ingredients and their quantities. So yeah, this is me going through it. I actually enjoy using the pasta machine because it's like so once you get that thinness that you want, now we're going to be ripping it. Okay, so just give it a rip. You can do it big or small. Okay, at the beginning I was making it too small, but at the end, I realized that ripping it big sizes is better. It doesn't really matter. Chips is still the same. The weight will be the same after all, unless maybe so as I was doing, I was just finding better ways of rolling it in the pasta machine. So I prefer that I have 2 strips, so that I just rip it, like each rip is 1 rip. If it's a bit wider, it means you have to rip along the dough or whatever your friends in the strip or the sheet. You have to rip along the sheet. But then if it is thin, as you see, then you just rip, right? So that is it done, and that is some of it done. Okay, this is us going to fry. Just let's fry it, because repetitive sound, there's no need for me to show you. Okay, so I love frying this. This is one of my favorite things to fry ever, because it fries so quickly. Okay, just like 2 minutes now, fry away. You don't need to let it brown, because it does, as you see it here, the color, it is cooked. But me, I want it to fry it a little bit more, just in case it's not cooked. But trust me, it cooks so quickly. Okay. So you have to be very fast about this. This is not the time you are going to urinate. There is no urination here. Number 2, body is not in the question. Be there. Quick. Within 10 minutes, I had finished frying it. It is that quick. And the second fry too, it goes quicker than even, because the oil is hot. And I'm frying in a cast iron. So it means that the heat is contained and the heat is evenly distributed. It makes everything fry nicely. But if not, now, Charlie, it will still work. When you know a fanciness. And so that is it done. Very nice, very crunchy, and it is so delicious. And the title says that don't try this at home. There is a reason. you better not try at home, because if you try it, you eat and eat and eat and eat. Why? Because Maria Ble. Anyway, that is me being very silly. I don't mean any of that. It's just, yeah, comedy. And I was saying, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the very next one. Bye.